Hi guys, Ligai Dumelang. There is a topic that has been brewing in the past week, and I want us to discuss it. And people are wondering, or people are saying that Jacinta Zuma has sold out because she has started working with AfriForum. Now, the thing that I want us to look at is that we should not be biased people. We should have conversations and look at things with a parallel view, meaning that we need to really think about the downside or the opportunity that might actually be there for Much and Much as an organization. But now, the question that I need to pose to you guys is that are we going to say that protesting in itself is enough? Are we going to continue protesting, or are we going to try and make this organization to be what it's supposed to be so that it can work for the average South African? And how would that look like? Because there's a range of things that Jacinta can learn and her team can learn from AfriForum, because AfriForum is one of the biggest or the biggest organization with the best funding model. Because at the end of the day, Afrikaners are funding that organization and they're giving it a little over 22 million every month. So now, if we are going to have this discussion, we need to be honest people and we need to be factual, and we need to look at things with the bigger picture. So let's start with the first hypothetical situation. Let's say Jacinta is not selling out the movement, and she's just trying to make it better so that it can work for the average South African. So now I looked at AfriForum as an organization. What is it that they specialize in? And I looked at the opportunities that could be there for AfriForum and what they could learn from AfriForum. So number one, AfriForum is one of the biggest organizations in South Africa that has a strong legal capacity. So Much and Much in itself, it started from the grassroots. People were marching and all of these things, but the members or even the volunteers or even the leadership of Much and Much, they don't have a strong legal background. And there on the other side, on AfriForum, there's a lot of white lawyers that side, or even lawyers in itself. There's a lot of lawyers that side. They have a lot of case studies where they've engaged the government, they've engaged civic society, and this in itself can create a lot of opportunities and things that Much and Much can learn as an organization. So in the aspect of legal capacity, Much and Much can learn how to be like they can learn how to identify cases that that can be taken to court, because obviously the movement with AfriForum and Much is different. But obviously, on the other side, on AfriForum knows how to identify cases that are able to be taken to court, and this is something that Much can learn. They can learn cases that have immigration problems and all these things, and learn how to get the best lawyers, how to fund those lawyers, and how to get the cases to be taken to court. Now, another part of this is that they can also learn from AfriForum in terms of how to collect evidence properly, because there's a lot of fraud that is happening in terms of this issue of illegal immigration, and there's a lot of opportunity in terms of Much and Much identifying cases and how to find evidence in terms of illegal immigrant fraud cases, all those types of things, because there's a lot of people that are selling documents, there's a lot of people that are doing wrong things, and Much can learn from AfriForum in terms of how to collect evidence properly. Next is that Much and Much can learn from AfriForum in terms of how to challenge decision. Let me phrase it this way: they can learn how to challenge government decisions legally. So anything that is not of the interest of South Africans, and AfriForum has challenged the government many times, Much and Much also can learn from that level, and they learn how to engage the government. They learn how to take government to court. So it's really important. The next one is that Much and Much can learn how to use constitutional rights and administrative laws of this country to benefit their cause. And on the other side, in AfriForum has done that thing countless times. And Much and Much, yes, they did it a few times, but they can learn it on a bigger scale in terms of a well-funded model. They can learn on that level in terms of how to use constitutional rights and administrative laws to take government to court, to create policies, etc., etc. The next part, of which is vital to the things that I mentioned, is that Much and Much can learn how to build relationships with the right attorneys and advocates, because AfriForum has one of the best lawyers. And when you are in a space like that, you can interact, or they can also recruit people from the other side and say, okay, no, man, there's a lot of white lawyers in this side, or there's a lot of good lawyers in AfriForum. How can we learn how to vet and get our own lawyers that are good, or they're even better than the level of AfriForum? So it's a really vital space. For me, more than anything else, this presents an opportunity more than anything else in terms of Much and Much collaborating with AfriForum. The only thing that we must hope is that Much and Much does not become tainted. Much and Much does not become corrupted. It remains what it is, and they are going there in terms of collaboration and learning skills and learning how to operate this thing of a civic organization. Because AfriForum is a civic organization. They have a large pool of money. 22 million rand a month is a lot of money, guys. Whether we like it or not, it's a lot of money. So Much and Much can learn how to create a funding model for themselves that the average South African can trust and fund. And the most important part of all of this also is Much and Much can learn how to create sustainable litigation, like a sustainable litigation fund. Imagine AfriForum has existed for years now, and it's still having money coming in every month. We don't know the finances. It's not perfect in its own, but Much and Much can learn how to create a sustainable litigation fund, meaning that South Africans would support Much and Much. Much and Much would have money to always take government to court. They will have money to create campaigns and all these types of things. So it's really important. And out of all of this, in terms of legal capacity, they can turn community complaints into legally actionable cases. So them getting into that space, it's them learning how to maneuver the legal space in terms of engaging government, in terms of taking cases to government and taking government itself to court. Because AfriForum, they've done it countless times. So there's an opportunity that is presented here for Much and Much. Much and Much can learn a lot from AfriForum. Now we move on to the next segment. Number 2. Much and Much in itself, it's new. And they need to really learn how to build a permanent organization. And with the observation and probably the mentoring of AfriForum, Jacinta Zuma and her team, they can learn how to build a permanent organization. It can be a pop-up organization, because this issue is really serious for a lot of South Africans. A lot of South Africans are really passionate about the issue of illegal immigration and the safety of South African citizens and securing their economic interests. So them working with AfriForum, it presents an opportunity, a really big opportunity of learning how to build a permanent organization. They need to study the public support systems of AfriForum. Rather than just it being a protest movement, they can learn those support systems. Because those things can move from supporters. They start having supporters, they have members, they have branches, they have volunteers, they have community organizations, and then it leads to sustainable funding. So it needs to have an organogram that flows within all levels of society and creates that permanent organization. So this measure, whatever it's called, it's really vital. For me, it presents an opportunity more than anything else. I'm just seeing an opportunity that, Jacinta has seen that some of the people that she's worked with have sold out. And for this movement not to be discredited, let me go and work with these white people. These white people, they will show me the business of civic organizations, the business of litigation and engaging government. For me, that's what I see in all of this. I'm seeing an opportunity that she's going to learn the business of civic organizations, and she's going to take this thing to the next level. Okay, now we are moving on to the third part. Part of all of this, as an organization, you need money, guys. Whether we like it or not, you need money. And there's been speculations of what. They are being funded by Israel. All these other many other stories. Let's say they are not funded by Israel, and Much and Much needs to learn how to create a funding model. How would they do that? In essence, how would they really do that? So it's really important for all of us to understand this thing from that level, that Much and Much needs to learn the business of fundraising and financial sustainability. A protest movement needs money, or any civic organization needs money to run. And unfortunately, to get into the business of things, we need to understand that they need to learn the financial systems in terms of how to gather money from the masses. So all of these things, they are going to fund lawyers, it's going to fund research, it's going to fund offices, it's going to fund staff, community projects, it's going to fund media, digital platforms that Much and Much can have in terms of how to deliver their message. Because we know there's propaganda in the media, there's a lot of range of issues that are there within these movements. So Much and Much has an opportunity to learn how to fund all of these things. And then they learn how to fund things like litigation, educational programs, in terms of making civic society aware that illegal immigration is not something that needs to be normalized. It has its own negative effects onto society and the communities around South Africa. So learning fundraising and learning financial sustainability is an opportunity that is presented in this measure with AfriForum. So guys, we really need to look at this thing with a bigger picture. Obviously there's a downside, we cannot ignore that, but there's a big opportunity in all of this to turning Much and Much into an organization that is bigger, that is vibrant, more than what it is currently. Number 4, a lot of things that AfriForum have done, they've learned how to create community structures through the funding of this organization. And this is what Much and Much also needs to get in the door and learn. Much and Much needs to enter that door and learn how to create community structures. They need to have a local Much and Much branch in all areas where there is a large concentration of illegal immigration. Community problems will be handled by those branches. Those branches will document evidence, take it to government, take it to court, all of those things. Legal intervention would be presented through even the funding that would be there, that is will be created, and they've learned from AfriForum. And they will have follow-ups through all of these branches, and public accountability will be there in the long term. So you see, guys, there's a lot of opportunity. These are some of the things that I wrote down, and I saw that in this situation, there is a bigger opportunity that is presented for this specific organization, Much and Much. Now we move to the other part. Number 5. AfriForum is very good in terms of making research and gathering evidence. And Much and Much, to a certain extent, they don't know how to do that. And we really need to be honest. And this presents an opportunity for them to go learn the business of learning how to research better, finding good researchers, in terms of how to gather evidence. The organization could produce details research detailing the following things. This research is vital to have information to form litigation, to form cases against government, to form cases against municipalities, to form cases against organizations, against companies. So this research will create the following. Immigration like the research that will be compiled will have a comprehensive knowledge in terms of immigration status and employment of a lot of people in many companies and all spheres of life. learning who is hired who is hiring who. Those who are hiring wrong people, they'll be taken to labor court. They will be taken, the law will do its course. So the research part of this is very vital. Much and much will start learning what types of law violation, labor violations are being done in different companies. All of this is research. It requires investigation. They will learn the exploitation of undocumented workers. Where are these undocumented workers working? Who is exploiting them? What companies are exploiting undocumented people? So you see, there is a huge opportunity cost that is there in terms of research and evidence that can be presented for much and much when they start working with AfriForum and they learn the business of research and evidence. They will learn what business compliance looks like, and they will start investigating different businesses in terms of what is it that they need to look for in terms of business compliance. Sorry. So there's a lot of good things that can come out of this. They can go and study border management failures, walk around all of these borders, learn how those systems work, learn how people are employed, investigate who is doing fraud where, all those types of things. Crime data is very vital. They need to have crime specialists learn how to compile crime data. Especially they're going to learn these things because on the other side, AfriForum has done this before. They're going to learn what tax compliance looks like. What is it they can look for in terms of which companies are violating tax compliance? They're going to study and find and research and investigate illegal businesses, document fraud. There's a lot of opportunities that are there in this thing. They will investigate human trafficking because now they'll have all of these branches and a model that is well funded, and they will be searching for all of these cases. So it cannot stay as a protest movement forever. And to the last part of this video, much and much needs to learn how to do better lobbying and government engagement. So far, they've done a good job, but it can get to a higher stage. They need to move this organization from just only a protest movement, learn to engage government, municipalities, institutions through legal and political advocacy. How will this look like in the bigger scheme of things? They will learn how to source out and compile community complaints, do research properly, policy proposals will be done, government submissions will be in place, parliamentary engagement will then be a common thing. It will not be a thing that will come once in a while. Litigation will be in place and public campaigns will be created, because this thing will be a flow of information, a flow of resources, a flow of knowledge. And then it leads to public campaigns, and then it involves the collective society to say, this is what we've learned, this is what we've done, we have this much, we are going to do this about it. Now let's go and engage government. Let's fight this government that's not trying to work with the people of South Africa. Now I'm going to add one last thing. There is a huge opportunity cost when much and much it takes itself out of the relationship with AfriForum. Let's say they've learned everything that they needed to learn. The common thing is that there's going to be a lot of community projects that are going to come up out of this thing. There's going to be a very specific opportunity, because now much and much needs to not necessarily remove itself from being an organization that solely focuses only on illegal immigration. It can grow and become something bigger, but illegal immigration will be at the core of things. This would be like they will learn how to do bigger things that are going to serve the average South African. They will learn how to correlate themselves properly through society and learn how to engage government. So there's a lot of things that they can do for the youth and the communities of South Africa as an organization. Not only as just a protest movement. This thing can be bigger than most people realize, and it can also grow the image of March and March to say, no, March and March is not only protesting against illegal immigration. They have these services, they've got these systems in place, they've got these lawyers that they're working with, they have these researchers that they're working with to make governance correctly. Because out of all of this, guys, the purpose of March and March is to make this government work for South Africans. And this relationship with AfriForum can present this opportunity. I don't know what you guys think. Tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if the suggestions that I've made in this video make sense. Let's have an engagement. This is a conversation. I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but we can have a conversation. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching so far. Thank you very much. Again, please like and subscribe, guys. Bye.